The Galactic Council believed the war was over. For 3 cycles, the Zareth Dominion had pushed humanity to the brink. Colony after colony burned. Entire fleets were reduced to drifting metal coffins. The Dominion were apex predators of the stars, taller, stronger, bred for conquest. Their soldiers were engineered without fear, without hesitation, and yet Earth still stood. When the ceasefire was finally called, the council chambers were filled with whispers. How did the humans survive? The Zareth warlord, Kravix, stood in the center, armor cracked and scorched. His voice rumbled like distant thunder. They are reckless, he growled. They fight without logic, without restraint. Across from him sat Admiral Elara Vance of Earth's defense fleet. Her uniform was simple. No medals, just calm, steady eyes. You're mistaken, she said quietly. We fought with restraint. The chamber fell silent. Kravix's mandibles flared. Restraint. Your forces countered every advance. Your soldiers survived injuries that should have killed them. Your fleets outmaneuvered ours, despite inferior mass. Elara folded her hands. We limited ourselves to 40% combat capacity. The translator drones hesitated, recalibrating. 40%, one counselor whispered. Kravix stepped forward, towering. Explain, and so she did. Humans had learned long ago that total war meant extinction. On their own world, they had nearly destroyed themselves more than once. Nuclear fire, chemical storms, global conflicts that scarred their planet. They survived, but only by learning control. Every human soldier was trained with inhibitors, biochemical governors that suppressed adrenaline spikes beyond sustainable limits, neural dampeners that prevented berserker states. Power armor restricted muscle output to avoid catastrophic strain, because when humans fought without limits, they burned out. They broke bones with their own strength, they tore muscles. Their hearts ruptured under extreme stress. Their minds shattered beneath unchecked fury, so they built safeguards. 40% was the maximum safe threshold for prolonged warfare. Kravix stared in disbelief. You claim your warriors were restrained, Elara nodded. For sustainability. Yes, a murmur spread across the chamber. The Dominion had studied humans. They had reviewed battlefield footage. Humans lifting debris to free trapped allies, charging through plasma fire, fighting even after losing limbs. That was restraint, a counselor asked. Elara's gaze hardened. You never saw us desperate. The truth was classified, until now. When the Dominion launched their final assault on Haven 3, something had gone wrong. Dominion forces had broken through orbital defenses. Civilian evacuation ships were still planet-side. A human battalion outnumbered 6 to 1 held the last defensive line. And the inhibitors failed, whether by damage or choice, no one knew. What the Dominion recorded next was sealed under highest security protocols. Human heart rates spiked beyond predicted survivability. Pain receptors shut down. Muscle fibers tore and rebuilt. Reaction times doubled, then tripled. They moved like forces of nature. One human soldier flipped a Dominion assault walker with bare hands, fracturing both arms in the process, but continuing to fight. Another ran through sustained plasma fire to manually detonate a shield generator, surviving injuries that medical science deemed impossible. They did not scream, they did not retreat, they advanced. In 17 minutes, the Dominion lost an entire strike legion. Kravix had been there, he had seen it. He thought it was a statistical anomaly. You're telling me? That was full power. Elara shook her head. That was approximately 87%. The chamber erupted. Impossible. No species could survive such strain. They would destroy themselves. Elara didn't argue. We would, she said calmly. Eventually, she activated a hologram. It displayed human physiological data under maximum adrenal response. At 100%, she explained, a human can temporarily ignore shock, blood loss, and structural damage. Strength output increases up to 300% baseline. Pain becomes irrelevant. Fear becomes fuel. But survival probability drops below 12% after 10 minutes. Silence. We don't fight at full power, she continued. because we intend to survive the war. Kravik stared at her, something new flickering in his predatory eyes. Not hatred, not anger, fear, you held back, he said slowly. Even as we destroyed your worlds. Yes, why? Elara met his gaze, because if we hadn't, there would be nothing left of yours. The Dominion had assumed humanity's resilience was luck. It wasn't, it was discipline. The Council began reviewing suppressed Dominion battle logs. Footage of Haven 3 leaked across secure networks. Analysts recalculated projections. If humans removed their governors fleet-wide, Dominion victory probability dropped to 0. Galactic casualty projections exceeded 70% across all major powers within a single cycle. One counselor whispered the unthinkable. They were protecting us. Elara didn't confirm it. She didn't need to. As the session ended, Kravik approached her privately. You could have annihilated us, he said. Eventually, she replied. Why didn't you? Elara looked out at the stars beyond the chamber glass. Because we learned something on our home world, she said softly. Power without control, extinction. Kravik studied the fragile-looking human. The species his empire had tried to dominate. You fight at 40%, he said. She nodded. For now, years later, the Dominion would become one of humanity's strongest allies. Not because they were conquered, but because they understood. The most terrifying predator in the galaxy was not the one that fought without limits, it was the one that chose to have them. And somewhere in the vast silence of space, military strategists updated a single line in their doctrine. Pray humanity never decides to try 100%.